All right. Looks like you had a chance to peek through the dock, Sam, and we're looking at the mundane.
Yes, sir.
That's excellent. That's excellent.
Very excited.
Um, so, uh, so I hope this experiment goes well because this is kind of a cool system that Matthew's been tooling around with, and it's a lot more streamlined and less grindy than D&D is. So hopefully we'll have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
The general gist is that like we're all kind of gonna go around kind of in turns and make moves that are sort of like a chunk of actions, and and as things kind of progress through the story, you guys will try to stop this monster, and so you guys are going to be on the road. I told the Brighton and Ryan already is that you're going to be kind of sort of supernatural style or Scooby Doo style, on the road, and you get a call to come and help out with a situation. So just keep that in mind as you're thinking about like concepts and whatnot, and how you guys are all connected. And thinking about what made you become a Scooby Gang in the first place. But I'm sure we'll flesh things out as we go, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just a one shot, so it's but maybe Monster of the Week can become a part of our repertoire.
All right.
So yeah, I would go ahead and start. So we've got a spooky, which is like somebody that's kind of like Dean Winchester when he was like demonized Dean, or somebody who's kind of cursed or blessed in some way, but is not really like a practiced spell slinger, more of a
Like a warlock,
like a warlock,
essentially.
kind of like a warlock. And Bryant is a flake. They're kind of like conspiracy theorists and like seeing the connections in the under the surface. And the mundanes are like, you're there to fight evil, fight the good fight, and help out the team. But you're like Cordelia or Xander from Buffy, where you're like not necessarily like the front lines.
That's right.
Joe Plumber.
Gotcha.
All right. How we doing? Everybody got their basics picked out?
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Just kind
Think
of choosing
so.
my weapons right now.
Okay. All right. So I think we have kind of a look picked out here. You guys are so creepy, so creepy. Um, but so we'll need to get started with our kind of introductions here. So I don't know if Ryan or Bryant, you want to go first, but just give us the short version of your idea of the character, and then we're going to go around and connect each other a little bit more.
Okay. My character's name is Principal Daniel D. Lyons. He was an elementary school principal for 25 years. Um, he just wanted to help those kids out, and just could never seem to get through to them. They always just kind of thought he was weird and wouldn't want us to be in a room alone with him. Or he doesn't blink
Mm,
because always red. He does not think the two things are connected.
okay, I like it. I like it. Sam.
I'm Jason Peaborn, not to be confused with the spy. I get that all the time, every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a practitioner of the custodial arts, as I like to tell my kids. I've been working at the same. I worked at the same school right around the end of Dan D. Lyon's tenure over at his elementary school. But I cover all the schools in the area. I'm not afraid of vomit or poop or nothing really. And I'm just excited to be here and just ready to clean up
Clean up the streets.
or inside. Streets, I don't like street work that much.
All right.
Cafeterias, That's one of my jams.
Yeah. I can already see the horrifying connections between you all. Bryant?
My name's Jake, often called Jake the Rake on his conspiracy theory podcast. It was taken off of iTunes, and he thinks there's a connection to that. So, currently he's having to go around that with his YouTube channel. But yeah, he's conspiracy theorist.
Okay.
Everyone's out to get him.
All right, so Ryan, take a look at your playbook, and so you're gonna pick a history between you and Sam, and you and Bryant from your list there.
Okay.
Are we all gonna do the same?
Yeah, you're all gonna do the same. We're just gonna go around the circle, unless you can pass if you or whatever. It doesn't have to be super formal.
All right. How old is Jake?
I'd say he's probably like early 40s.
Okay. All right. Well, Jake saw me use my powers for a selfish reason. And who was the victim of my powers? Jake.
Some like frat boy.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. What did I do? I'm trying to think.
Well, we can develop as we go. Do you have a sense of what sort of spooky you are?
Mostly kind of like I get flashes of the future of like it, but nothing ever really that important. But like just in the immediate, like within, and it's usually only within like the next hour, I'll get like a flash of something that's going to happen somewhere. I can also read people's minds.
What did you pick for your dark side?
My dark side, my three things are pain, or impulse control, and hallucinations.
Wow, that's special. Okay. All right. Do you have an idea for Sam, or shall we move forward, Brian?
Sam, how old is Jason?
Jason is 43 years old.
Okay.
Nothing creepy about a bunch of guys in their 40s rolling around in a van.
No,
Not creepy at
Well,
all.
mode of transportation. Do we all have vans as our modes of transportation?
Not everyone gets one. Mode.
Oh.
Principal Lyons is going on his late 60s. And he was actually, for about 3 months in 1994, he was married to Jason's mother. But only for about 3 months. And we've known each other for some time, but since my powers manifested, I keep him at a distance emotionally. Even though we were only married for a few months, I have adopted him as my son.
Well,
Even though it's been about 20 years since him and his mother and I were married.
So Jason would have been fully grown adult, but when you married his mom.
But he's still my pep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, Sam. Take a look at your history list and pick out something for each person.
Well, obviously, the principal pep, his he's just been a real good influence on me in my life. I mean, even though he was married to my mom for only 3 months, and I only see him when I stop by his house on like major holidays and he shoos me away. I can tell that there's some love there. As for Jake the Rake, I'm his biggest fan. I buy all of his vitamin supplements. He is my hero and exactly the person that I want to become in the future because that man knows the truth. You know what I'm saying? He's speaking real words of wisdom, and I cannot wait to buy his Ultimate Warrior bio vitamin supplements.
Bioblast.
Bioblast supplements. To get my carcinogens realigned.
Well, and as you guys are thinking about these, think about how this led to you all being on the road together hunting monsters, because we need to jump farther forward into the future of like, you guys have been doing this for a little while. So at some point you guys decided to hit the road together. So perhaps one of those holiday trips to Dan's house resulted in some connection, and Jake maybe saw some, after seeing that there was some real magic in the world that might have shaken up his worldview.
Oh yeah, definitely. Principal Dandelions had to have like an interview on my podcast.
So, did we become? You guys recall we became friends when Jake the Rake was? I won the drawing to help fight the war on Christmas, and so I got to pick him up in my own car and take him to my own Christmas dinner with my own family.
Had to warn them about the cannibal Christamites.
Yeah, that was the greatest privilege of my life. So I dragged Pep into the van with me, and we just drove around. We just celebrated Christmas. We said Merry Christmas to like a mosque and everything we could come across. And then we ran across the now what'd you call it, Jake? I don't remember names as good as you.
The cannibal Christmas mites.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Mm. That was a night to remember. Tell you what,
Christmas is really very, very a dark celebration.
That's why there's a war on it.
Yeah.
All right, Bryant, take a look at the flake and the history options you got, and find something for each of your cohorts here.
I'll do the each other through cryptozoology and conspiracy theory websites. That'll tie me to. Well, so it's like, so I'm choosing things like other than how they know me.
So you're choosing a history between the two of you, of like, this is what connects the two of you together.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use that kind of conspiracy theory website one, but just kind of alter it to where how Dandelions. I've featured him several times now on some of my podcasts, and then I also know Jason through members of the same support group. We're both in AA as well.
The struggle is real, brother.
Yeah.
Wow, you're in AA and you're in a war against Christmas?
Correct.
Real mixed messages there.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
Maybe just your higher power is.
Well, I don't know what could be a better. Maybe not AA. Like what would be?
No, I think that's perfect. I think the contradiction between the two is great. It makes no sense.
We just get in my van and just rage out about people suppressing Christmas. And sometimes we slip up, but you know what? It's just one step at a time.
All right. I'll share a Google Doc with you guys because I realized that I hadn't done that yet. And so I made some initial notes about you guys.
Also, one of my moves, I chose that connect the dots.
Mm-hmm.
It's like at the beginning of each mystery, you roll a plus sharp on a and then I get like a certain amount of hold, and I can spin that hold to like ask you questions throughout the mystery.
All right. We'll cover that when we get started, but that's awesome.
Okay.
I have something kind of similar. Also, I have a called premonitions. At the start of each mystery, roll plus weird. On a plus 10, you get a detailed vision of something bad that is yet to happen.
Okay.
You take plus 1 forward to prevent it from coming true.
All right. So we've got our history of why these three middle-aged men roll around in a van in a way that is deeply disturbing to everyone who witnesses it.
Hey, I've got 35 followers.
That's right.
Hundreds of downloads a year on your podcast.
Even if 2 of them are, Dan and
All right.
I feel like some of them may be dummy accounts that Jason made to boost Jake's numbers.
Guilty. Guilty.
can't prove that.
Whatever forwards the cause,
All right. So I think we're pretty clear, yeah?
Yeah.
So, we've got our at the start of everything turn here. Let me take a quick look. Okay, so let's do all your start of mystery moves now. So if you have any powers, like Ryan and Bryant said, now is the time to do them.
So we roll how many? Or like how large of a die?
It's 2d6. You should be able to click on your sheet next to charm, cool, sharp, tough. There's a little dice thing.
That little die symbol.
Yeah. Or I made a macro. I'm not sure if you guys see it underneath our images at the bottom of the screen. It says MOTW roll.
So roll plus weird. So we'll do that. Whoa, okay, input value plus or minus forward 1.
No, that's asking if you have other bonuses. Just leave it blank.
Oh, okay.
All right. Oh, nice. You got 11.
So we don't need to add a forward. Just hit submit.
Yeah, forward is like a kind of bonus that you get from having something.
Did you do that?
How can you roll 0?
Yeah,
Minus.
Yeah, I think it was the plus that was screwing us up.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's it.
Okay. Whew. All right, glad we figured that out.
The first mystery is solved, guys.
Yeah, guys, we did it. We did it, y'all.
The Christmas cannibal night.
Goddamn this camel Christmas nights.
We finally got him.
Well, let's call it 8 and call it a day. So, Principal Ryan, 11. So, what do we got here? This is premonitions. So you take 1 forward to prevent it becoming true, and mark experience if you stop it. You late one night, when you guys are on the road, stopped at a greasy spoon truck stop gas station. You get a painful flash in your mind of someone trapped, and they're someplace dark, and they're like swimming in this like thick viscous fluid, or they're like stuck in this like goop, and they're like struggling to get out, and they're crying for help, and they like kind of harden.
They harden? Like they sort of freeze up?
Yeah, they freeze up. All right. And so, Bryant, when you do yours, what does it do here? So this is to connect the dots?
Yeah, so I get 1 hold, and I guess when I want to, I can ask one of the questions below then.
Yes. So whenever you want, you can bust out one of those questions. Okay. So while you guys are at this truck stop, eating greasy spoon burgers, and and the truckers look over their shoulders at you all like, these guys are weird and creepy. And they're creepy already. They're creepy truck drivers, super creepy. Nobody would take a ride from these guys, and they're looking at you guys like, yeesh.
Episode 43 of my podcast.
So I'll take you guys over, and you. There we go. So you get a call from an old contact. Who's let's see, who's responsible among you all? I guess. I guess
Probably the former principal.
I guess Jason is the friendly one. Jason's the one people like.
I am the most approachable of all of these people.
He's the face.
He's the face.
I'm
Okay.
the face.
All right.
It's all about the money maker.
You get you look at your phone, and the caller and the phone's ringing. It's somebody that's in your phone as Forrest T, like the letter T, and you're trying to remember back who this was and why you put them in your phone as Forrest T. Just ring. I assume you answer the phone.
Jason P. Bourne, Janitorial Services. No, I'm not the spy. Thank you for calling.
Jason. This is Tim. Do you remember back when you there were those animal attacks and it was things were bad. Things were bad. I just calling if I could ask you for something. Ask you a favor.
Do you need us to clean up some more animal poop?
No. He's like, well, I got called
from the forest. You're Tim from the forest.
No, I work for the forestry service.
Okay. How you doing, buddy?
All right. And you were
Jason, who are you talking to? Jason, who is that? Who's that on the phone?
It's Tim from the forest services.
Oh.
You guys remember, there were some freaky animal attacks that he was on duty for that you guys were investigating in the woods. I don't know what kind of animal do you think, or what sort of beast was it that was a quote unquote animal attack? I'll leave you guys to decide.
Are you asking? We're pausing to
yeah. I'll ask. I'll throw it to you guys of what you guys think.
Okay, so then I cover up the phone. Hey, what was that? What was that fake animal monster thing that we had bought in the forest?
I think it wasn't it that it was that pig that like crawled inside the carcass of like an elk and was like running around with like
the duck elk.
Yeah.
Where he was a pig with the wings of a duck in the carcass of an elk.
I think so.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Hey Timbo, come on back. This is Jason.
Come on back now.
Listen.
Too much time out on the road.
I'm up in Middleton, and there's something freaky, and I didn't know what to do. So there's this sap. It's like nothing I've ever seen, and there's this missing person, and I found this weird goop. Doesn't look right, and I thought maybe you guys might know what sort of duck bird elk thing or whatever it was you guys were fighting would have done this, and maybe you might come and take a look.
Well, that sounds like a lovely evening for us, Timothy. I thank you for inviting us. We are on our way. We are just pulling out of the truck. Aren't we just pulling out of the truck stop right now, guys?
Totally
on the road. We'll be there in 45 minutes or so, based on how fast this van gets going.
Jake says totally with a mouthful of burger.
Cheese fries.
And we'll just go ahead and, you know what? Just as a bonus custodial work, we'll go ahead and clean up that sap right off your trees.
Well, that's not really what I'm worried about. You hang up on him. And so you're just like, whatever.
He has a car phone. He doesn't have a...
So you guys pack up your shit and get on the road, and you drive through the night.
Before we leave, are any of the truckers, how are the truckers reacting to us?
Like I said, they're creepy, and they look at you guys like you're creepy.
Okay. I don't like that. I'm a very nice man, and I don't appreciate that, especially hearing the thoughts of these truckers. And as we're leaving, I'm going to slip a thought inside of one of the truckers' heads that his like co-driver has been stealing his meth.
All right.
Oh, that's a good one.
I'll let you have that one. You see them. You see him kind of like start eyeballing his co-driver, and kind of giving him the stink eye. And as you guys pack up your things, you see him kind of poking at the guy's chest and kind of like, what, like, you're looking at me funny, aren't you? You're looking at me funny. I can see you looking at me funny. And you guys hit the road, and you arrive into Middleton at night a little while later. Middleton, it's tucked up into the forests, and it's kind of a nice but somewhat isolated small town. Population 3,423, in the center of town, you drive in down the main street. You see a cafe and the sheriff's office and the high school, and one big motel kind of on the corner of a block with a light out. You guys can pull into town and make your first moves. I think probably the most obvious things would be to look into this mystery, figure out what Tim's up to, etc. Check into the hotel, that sort of stuff. This is sort of your central location to work from.
All right. Well, want to get our keys. I'll need to take a short nap before we go out.
All right.
Okay. Okay. So then we'll get the keys, but then Jason wants to chat up the desk clerk at the hotel. Is it a motel? It's a motel, huh?
It's a motel.
Definitely a motel.
You can start investigating the mystery by rolling sharp, because when you go into the main office, you see that the office actually doubles as like a small convenience store for the town, like general store, convenience store, and you see an older man pushing a mop around on the floor and looking kind of, sour face, and kind of woman around the same age standing behind the counter, just kind of staring off. And when you guys walk in, she smiles at you. So if you'd like, continue.
Well, this is so charming. You got the little convenience store here with the check-in. I feel right at home.
Oh, I thank you, darling. That's so kind of you. What are you boys doing around here?
Well, do you guys know Tim? He's a forest ranger around these parts. Where he called us for a spot of business. I run a custodial arts business, and I want to go just see how he's doing. He asked us to come do him a favor, and I really hope that we can aid him.
Oh dear, yeah. Well, I'm Bonnie. You can see right here on my little tag here. I'm Bonnie, and that's my husband, Darren. Darren, say hello to these nice gentlemen. And he looks up at you and kind of goes, and she says, "Oh, well, I don't know no Tim, but some forestry guy and the sheriffs, they were out in the woods and they said they found something real funny, something funny out there."
Could you tell us how to get to the forestry service area?
Oh, well, there's no office around here, but you could give your friend a call, I suppose.
Oh, okay.
Do you know what they found?
Oh, some sort of animal nesting fungus grounds. You know, I heard it's some sort of flesh-eating viruses and all sorts of, you know how there's like wolf dens all over the place and just fungus wolf dens, all sorts of things.
Well, no wonder they needed some grade A custodians.
So you can roll investigate the mystery if you would like to question these people as to for something useful.
What do we roll? Is that sharp?
It's sharp, yes.
Okay.
Do just one of us or all of us do it?
One at a time, please.
Okay. Right.
All right. So every time you roll under 6, you mark an experience point for yourself.
Okay.
And let me pull up the.
You just rubbed her the wrong way.
It's all the not blinking.
Like
yeah.
You lose experience or what?
You gain experience.
Oh.
If you screw things up, you gain experience.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, you learn from your mistakes.
There's also a highway.
Get on the highway.
I'm going all night long or something.
We totally listened to that like 4 times in a row.
It's the only we have a single of it. It's the only tape we have.
Get on the highway.
It's just cars. It's just songs about highways.
Yeah, exactly. Well, in the 70s, there was a whole genre of music what was like trucker songs.
Yeah. Oh, we listened to Convoy.
Oh yeah,
listen.
Yeah.
Johnny Cash.
Convoy's a good one. There's also ever heard Space Truckers?
No, but
oh, it's really good.
Jason Bourne has.
Yeah.
We got One Way Train. Oh no, train never
It's a Grateful Dead song about driving trucks and doing cocaine.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's maybe why we unnerve the lady as we just start talking about our favorites.
All right. So
we each roll sharp.
We'll deal with this first. Ryan, what do you think you were? So you were. Who were you asking? Because so there's the husband and the wife are both here.
Probably the husband, I would imagine.
And what did you want to ask him about?
I wanted to ask him if he knows the sheriff and any of the people that have been investigating. Yeah.
All right. He looks at you and he says, "I got a lot of strangeness going on around here. A lot of strange people coming out of nowhere. You know what I mean? There's kind of a lot of bad folks if I don't say so myself. It's where'd you boys say you were from again? What do you who do you work for, son?
We're self-employed. We're from down south, uh, and I want to. Never mind. Well, I do have poor impulse control.
Yeah. So hobos, is it? You bunch of hobos.
Well, historically, hobos ride the rails. We have a very nice van. We have limited liability insurance on it. We we are in the process of getting our LLC.
Yeah. He kind of goes around behind the counter and he starts fiddling with the phone and the papers and starts kind of writing things down. Sam,
I want to give him diarrhea.
all right. So you can use your magic. I'm pretty sure that when you do these sorts of things, if you screw it up, there's some.
It's gonna be a bit.
It's real bad. Real bad.
It's gonna spray.
Well, but before you escalate, I want to put that on hold. Bryant, you see, Jason is talking to the lady at the front desk about some kind of vague nonsense. She sounds like she doesn't know her stuff. She's not up to date in the latest conspiracies. The things that she's worried about, like everybody knows that's not real. And Principal Dan, he seems to have kind of creeped out or tipped off this man who's the husband, and he's like he seems like he's kind of eyeballing you guys even more now. He seems real suspicious.
Jake is going to. I feel like he probably maybe has been already looking out the windows, looking for any kind of black unmarked vehicles or choppers outside, or any kind of suspicious characters that seem, any kind of people that seem out of place in this kind of small rural town.
Okay, why don't you roll
sharp.
Read a bad situation? Yeah.
Where
a real bad situation.
So that'd be roll sharp.
Hunter moves. Yeah, sharp. All right. So you get yourself an experience point as well.
Uh-oh.
You look out the window and you don't see anything particularly out of place, but you do see someone in a parked car across the street, and like you see the dome lights on, and they look up, and when their hat kind of pulls back and reveals the light, you see a sheriff uniform. You see this woman middle-aged woman, and she sees you like looking real suspicious out the window, like and she kind of like turns off the car and like opens the door, and she starts walking over towards you guys. Sam, what do you want to do in this situation?
Jeez, thanks guys. All right.
The shit hasn't totally hit the fan yet, so.
Okay, let me think.
So if you want to investigate, you can think of what you want to ask, and yeah, I prefer to like ask. Think about what you want to.
Janitorial charm.
Yeah, think about what you want to ask, and then roll.
Where's the nearest forest entrance? We gotta go see our buddy Tim. We've been looking.
You saw on the drive-in that the forest is like all around this town. It's like pretty deep and thick wilderness in patches. Like the nearest town is like maybe 10 miles away. So it's kind of sparsely populated, forested area. So it's just all over the place.
Do we have Tim's number?
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
we know
So,
how to get? Okay.
yeah, so if you want to talk to Tim, I would just call him, and then you can ask your investigation questions to him.
Good idea.
Should we just call him right now?
If you want, yeah.
So let's get our key and go to our room, and let's I think get out of here.
We're just gonna wash the road off us real quick. We're gonna take a breather, maybe grab a quick snooze.
All right.
These boys are a little bit grumpy.
So she pulls out your keys, and you see that the husband, he kind of looks up as the sheriff opens the door, walks through. Why don't you roll manipulate someone, Sam, and try and see if you can calm this situation down.
Okay, so that would be charm.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Okay. So all right. So pick who you want to appease the most here. I mean, the sheriff is probably the most obvious threat to you all at the moment. The husband, he's like he's looking up to the sheriff, looking to her for guidance. So the sheriff rolls into the office, and she's got a kind of traditional green sheriff outfit and a hat on and a gun at her side. And she looks at the three of you, and she just says, "Evening, Bonnie. What's happening around here?" She says, "Oh, these fine gentlemen. They came here about the incident, the forest incident. Them wolves." And the sheriff nods and sees the husband. And the Darren, the husband, he just kind of looks at her and kind of goes, makes a face. And the sheriff says, we don't get a lot of folks like yourselves coming through town.
Like what?
Maybe you could just tell me what you boys are all doing in our town here.
Well, we were contacted by Tim, the forest boy.
So let Sam. He rolled a 9, so he's gonna get some. You can make some headway with this lady, but you're not free and clear.
The lady is the old woman.
The sheriff is this woman who's like about 40.
Oh, okay. Sheriff's woman. Okay.
Yeah, the sheriff's woman, and the married couple, they're like in their 60s. They're older.
First of all, we just want to thank you for your service to this great county, this great state, this great country, and we too are trying to help our land, this beautiful United States of America, and really what we're trying to do is go see the forest rangers. We were asked to come up here. I am a practitioner of the custodial arts, and we have been requested for some reason. We have dealt with matters of some discretion, custodial discretion before.
You're all custodians?
No, just me. This is my pep. He is retired. God bless his soul, after 25 hard years of principling the young minds of this great state of ours. And this is Jake the Rake. He's just an incredible talent and charisma machine who is just looking out for the little man like myself.
Well, I don't know about all that. You boys don't really seem like you belong around here, and I'm going to be keeping my eye out for any trouble. So don't think that our little town here is some redneck pushover nowhereville town. That we've got real people here, nice people trying to live a nice life. So I hope that I don't hear anything about you all, and you have a good night. All right.
We sure will. Thank you so much again for your time and your service to this country.
All right. So the sheriff walks out, and she's like, eyeballing you, and she goes back to her car. You guys get your key. And you can extricate yourselves from there unless there's something further.
Yeah, let's rumble.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So you guys check into your room, and there you can, get yourselves cleaned up. And you see a local town newspaper laid out on the desk, and it's got an article in it about, a vigil that's being held for Fanny Sampson, who you gather is a missing girl from these parts. Went missing about a week ago, and you see like pictures of the parents in their house, and that they're the following night there's going to be like a gathering at the high school and candle lighting and that kind of stuff.
I'm gonna use my NetFriends ability, get out my laptop, and just kind of see if I can find out some more information on like the missing girl or wolf fungus and all that kind of stuff.
All right. You get the feeling that the wolf fungus thing was, that's some nonsense. That's not a real thing.
Well, episode 136 of the Knights of Paranormal Activism and Other Higher Mysteries podcast would beg to differ.
All right. So yeah, go ahead and roll your net friends. Okay. They're prepared to help, but it's either going to take some time or you're going to have to part yourself. So what do you, so your net friends is like, kind of like, you can find out kind of basic information from a Google search. But your net friends is like you're asking them to do something for you, potentially something illegal or something that's particularly difficult. So think about what you ask them. But the short version of just like the quick Google search reveals that like a week ago, this girl went missing into the woods, that there was like a big search party and they didn't find her, and that people kind of like say that, maybe she just ran away and they're not really sure if she's dead. And there seems to be some kind of contention about whether she just kind of bailed, or if she was actually killed or captured or hurt by some wild animal or something.
Suspects or anything.
So everyone kind of pointed to the boyfriend, Vinny, who's actually still around. So they obviously didn't run off together. And the family lives here in town. So all that stuff is readily available, internet search. But if you want to ask your net friends to do something for you, do something special, they would probably be willing to do it for a price. They're not, your good buddy isn't online, but one of your other people that's like, yeah, they're good at what they do, but they're not like friends, but would do you a solid for something in return.
Maybe see if they could find out like any other kind of, maybe established, history of cases like this, like in this area, or or if there's any kind of maybe shady government sites or something, research facilities around here.
All right. They're Slacker Dong 45 volunteers to. He's like, yeah, I'll check into that for you, but I got a early morning shift. I'll get back to you later. Ryan, what you thinking?
Yep. Well, I think Dan is probably just finishing up his little quick cat nap.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got his crossword out, and he's doing some crossword. Just waiting for these boys to be ready to go.
Ready to go where?
We're gonna go. Oh, actually,
we gotta call Tom still.
We'll call Tim.
Tim.
All right. So why don't you go ahead and roll investigate? or actually, hang on. You call up Tim, and he's like, "Oh, hey, did you guys get in town already?"
Yeah, we are. We're at the hotel.
Oh, hey, I'm staying at the hotel too.
Oh,
I was out with the sheriff and them earlier today, but I was thinking about calling it a night. If you guys want me to, though, in the morning, I'll take you out to the site, and you can check out what you want to see. Unless you have some questions you want to ask me now.
yeah. Is there? Are you in your room now?
Yeah, yeah.
Is there any way we could, come over, maybe get a little bit more information, and then so we can start the morning with kind of, fresh eyes and.
Sure, sure. Come on down.
Okay.
Everybody
So
gonna go with Dan?
this is Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason is.
All right, so you guys go out, and around the corner from your room, you see a Forestry Service SUV parked in front of one of the rooms, and you get the feeling that's the one. Tim, he's like helps at the door, and he's guy in his 30s, kind of woodsy and rugged type, but he looks kind of paranoid at the moment, and he's like, come on in, guys, come on in. And you see that he has like some samples and some pictures and things up on the wall, and he says, "Boys, I don't know. You don't know how glad I am to see you all. It's been a weird few days, I tell you."
Well, tell us about it, bud.
There was this missing girl, and they did a search, and all they found was this weird scene. So they called in me, supposed to be an expert on these sorts of things, and boy, I didn't know what to think, but I'll show you a picture of it. And it shows you a picture of like a log that's like covered in some kind of black goo. And it's kind of looks like it was sort of splattered there and then hardened, so it's kind of spiny and splattery. And he says, "Yeah, it's not like any sap I've ever seen." And I didn't want to raise the alarm of everybody around here. Didn't want to cause a panic, But it does seem like, I don't know. I think that it's probably just some weird plants. Maybe I just haven't seen before, and I hope you guys just gonna tell me that I'm imagining things.
Well, let's take a look. So then, let's see. I'll pull. So Jason will get down real close, and he'll smell it. Smell a little sap, right?
Yeah, he's got a little chunk of it.
All right. And what does it smell like?
It smells kind of like sour and like I don't know, not like something you've seen before.
All right. So then he's gonna pull out his pocket knife and poke it with the pocket knife.
All right, it's kind of hard like sap. You can chip away at it. And when it does chip away, it does seem like like a hardened, sticky substance.
Well, Tim, I am just a purveyor of the custodial arts, as everyone seems to know. But my conclusion is affirmatively, this is just sap and there's nothing weird going on.
Oh, whew, I'm so glad that you could hear that.
Jason, I wouldn't be so certain.
Well, Pep, if you would lend your expertise, I would greatly appreciate it.
On the drive here, I had a vision of someone trapped in a substance similar to this, and they were screaming and crying, and then all of a sudden they were frozen. I think we're dealing with something possibly evil.
Oh boy, this is a roller coaster here. I thought maybe it was just sap, and now you got me thinking it's demons or something. I mean, there wasn't no body in this sap. It just was a big splash, big splatter, hardened stuff. But makes me think maybe this girl, maybe she's drowning in sap, some deep demon sap out there. Oh, I don't know what to do about that.
The proprietors of the motel were like talking about how there's been some other kind of weird people around the town. Like, do you know like anything about that or?
Well, everyone's kind of on edge because of this disappearance, and so there's been the sheriff and some other state troopers came through town, and they've been just sort of questioning everybody. I think it's got them on edge.
I would like to use telepathy to see if his
Well, I've also got a suspicious mind, so if someone lies to me, I know it.
You guys have such strong powers.
So you get the
You
sense.
have a pocket knife.
A mop and a van as my equipment.
Ryan, you don't sense anything immediately from this guy, and Jake is quick to nod along that Tim, he's your buddy. He was a solid guy back on the old Pigacabra thing, and you don't think that he's lying to you. He just seems kind of worked up.
He's on the up and up.
Okay. So where was the splash of this sap? Where is it located?
He shows you a map. It's about a mile out of town into the woods. It's kind of a hike, but like I say, I can take you guys up there in the morning if you want to go.
Yeah, I kind of would like to maybe go get a look at it tonight in the dark.
Fresh. That's it's not really safe out there. You can try to manipulate him if you want, but this I mean, other than creeping out Tim, you're not sure exactly. I'm not. Do you have a strong reason as to why you'd want to wander around the forest at night?
I mean, seems like the ideal time to do it.
It's up to you guys. You guys can have a team huddle.
Hey, Pip, do we really? I'm more of a morning person.
I'm a night owl.
I know it. And,
I just took a nap.
Yeah, and I know you're full of energy, and I appreciate that stamina you got. But you got the old person, early morning abilities also.
That's true.
I think that it would behoove us to not upset the law in this town already by sneaking off in the middle of the night. She's looking for us to be suspicious. And, I can't get another strike on my Ghostbusting license. Don't want to lose my membership.
All right.
Thank you. Jake the Rake, are you okay with this?
Yeah, I need to render my latest YouTube video anyway, so.
Right. And so you busted a backdrop.
It's a green screen, portable green screen.
This is already off to a super great start.
This is a fun format to run with.
Yeah.
I think it's impossible to feel overpowered in this format.
Yeah. Don't kid yourselves that weapons and things, they really super hurt and it's easy to die. But you all do have luck points. I forgot to mention this earlier, but so under normal circumstances, you'd have 7 luck points. Mm-hmm. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, I'm back.
I was just telling them that weapons and taking harm like is super dangerous. You really don't want to get hurt that much in this game. It's like you're pretty squishy. But you do have luck points. So in a regular game, you'd have 7 luck points, and basically once you run out of luck points, then you're doomed, and you're essentially like going to die.
Right.
And so you spend a luck point to change any roll to a 12 or to avoid all harm from an injury. So for a one shot, though, you guys only have 3 luck points to turn things around for yourselves or to save your skin. And then if you run out of luck, then you die, or you'll be pretty screwed. And the next time something bad happens, you're not going to get out alive.
Okay.
So like underneath like the like luck and harm, should those like be like anything right now or?
Nah, because we haven't taken any harm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And we can use the tokens if you want, or you can use your sheets if you want to track that stuff. All right, so you get up in the morning, and you hook up with Tim, and you see that this town
Really early in the morning.
But not before we get some chocolate banana pancakes.
Well, there is a cafe across the street that serves up that sort of thing. If you guys want to stop for breakfast first, you're welcome to.
It's a favorite dish of the KPAM, the Knights of Paranormal Activism and other higher mysteries.
You guys can, if you do stop in for a snack at the cafe and coffee and stuff, you see that the cafe is called McKay Cafe, and there's a sunny-looking woman who's the waitress and owner of the McKay Cafe, Sue McKay, and she sort of chats people up and seems real friendly and stuff, and serve you guys up some pancakes. If there's nothing you guys want to do while you're there, we'll just move forward.
I'm going to shoot Jason's mother just a quick good morning.
Okay. The text part added a crucial detail to that sentence.
Yeah, text.
Okay.
Shoot her a real quick text.
Okay.
Good morning, Tex.
And I'm gonna stare at my phone until she texts me back.
She texts Jason and says, "Is Dan with you? Is he being weird again?"
Mama, he's always a bit weird, but Pep-Pep's got a good heart.
Yeah, well, okay, as long as you're all right.
Yeah, I think we're all right. So far, we're all right. I'll give you a call around the time you go to bed, so like 4 p.m.
All right, well, you tell him I got his message.
I will. And then so Jason turns to Pep-Pep. Hey, Pep-Pep, Mama, you and Mama got divorced 22 years ago now, and
3 months, 4 days.
and she just appreciated if you just dialed it back on the text messages. She's real tired of paying alimony to you, and well, I think of you as my father, but I know she don't think of you as her husband.
Did she say all that?
No, that's just my natural intuition, as it were.
Well,
Just some timely advice from an admiring friend, fan, person.
Wait, so
I'm
you
gonna
were
text her again.
stepdad for 3 months.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
20 years ago.
While you guys are at the diner, you see the sheriff come through and get a coffee, and she spends a moment looking at you guys. And Tim, he's kind of, gives her a smile like, hi, and she just sort of, carries on, unless you guys do anything about it.
Wait, we perceive that Tim is nervous of the sheriff.
Well, he's listening to you guys be weird, and the sheriff gives him a little scowl, and he kind of shrugs, like, like, yeah, these are my friends. They're weird. So unless you want to pick some trouble right now, we'll move forward.
Let's just go. I say we get out to the forest.
Ryan?
Get out cleaning this normal sap off of a tree.
No need to stir the snake pit.
Okay.
All right. So you guys go with Tim, and he drives you out in his Jeep up some kind of, into the forest, up some dirt roads, and it's kind of a long, bumpy road. And he points out to you guys, he's like, let's see, over there, down that path there, you got the Sampson house. Oops. Hey, you're supposed to have a label, you. Sorry, technical difficulties. There. He says, okay, well, down that road there, that's the Sampson house, and some other people that live in the neighborhood, and and he's like, we got a park here, and then we got to hike about a half mile up the into the trees, and he takes you up that road there, and takes you to the crime scene, where there you see like a fallen tree, and it's covered in this dried black goop. And he says, yeah, like I said, there's not like something I'd ever seen before, and seemed like maybe something demonic. You guys still think it's demons? I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, maybe it's just some kind of sap. I don't know.
Maybe not demons specifically. This is more Jake's purview, but something foul and unnatural.
All right, so tell me how you want to investigate to gain information that's beyond just the obvious of like, yeah, it looks like hardened goop on a tree.
Does it look like it's coming from anywhere? Like it has a source? Like I want to look up in the tree, like up above, see if there's anything up in the trees above.
There's not an obvious source. It looks like, there was like it's like a spray or a burst of this goo, and it kind of splattered all over the place.
How big is the area that it's covering? Is it just covering like the log of the tree, or is there on the ground?
Yeah, it's about like 6 foot kind of area, like glob.
I'll pick up like a branch or something. I just want to kind of poke at it and like push the branch like into it.
So the goop is hardened at this point, so it doesn't really give much when you poke it. Just kind of.
Okay, I'm gonna start hitting it really hard.
Yeah, you break the branch. Tim asks Jake. He's like, "Is your friend okay?" Brian.
Sorry, I was like coming in talking to me. Like, what just happened?
Oh, Ryan took a stick and he whacked the sap with it until the stick broke. And Tim asks you, is your friend okay?
Oh, Tim. Okay.
The
No,
forester guy?
he's fine. This is regular stuff for us. And I try. I want to try. I don't know. Say I have like a bottle of water.
Mm.
I'm just gonna like pour some water on it. See if just. I don't know. Maybe it like because it's kind of solidified, right?
Yeah, it's solid. Yeah, water doesn't seem to really penetrate it much at this point. It seems to be kind of hardened, like like an amber or like some other kinds of Well, I mean, amber's like pretty far along, but a tree sap becomes like pretty darn hard
Pretty
once
solid,
it's out of the tree, and it's like that.
I asked him. Is this like the only known site of where this has appeared?
Yeah, this is the only one that I know of. The search party found it after the girl went missing, and I couldn't make heads or tails of it. It made me think maybe some sort of pig monster was roaming these woods like last time.
I mean, this is definitely not pig poop. I was trying to think of some kind of pig monster, for a podcast 246. But how do that kind of reminds me? How are like the animals in the area? How would they seem? I mean, like, is it like really quiet? Like maybe like the animals are staying away from where this kind of goop is.
Yeah, the forest is kind of quiet. You haven't seen a lot of animals in your trek up here. You're not sure if the two are related, but yeah, it seems like kind of a creepy, big forest that you guys have wandered up into. And
just kind of like real eerily, just kind of point that out and see if Jason or
Is there?
Dan have anything to say about that.
Well, first of all, I believe episode 246 of your podcast, Mr. Rake, is the Pygmalion. And yes, their feces are disgusting, as reported by your scientist, Dr. Hansensen. But are there anything like frozen in like birds or mosquitoes? I've only ever seen Jurassic Park, but like, has stuff gotten stuck in this sap?
Perhaps. So to maybe facilitate this a little bit, think about like ways that your character might have a special insight into this situation, and just sort of like pitch us on it, and if it sounds plausible, you can roll your investigate a mystery. You'd want to like think about like how you might know how to look up information or conduct some sort of tests on it, whether chemical or magical or things like that. So if you kind of like want to pitch us on a way that you can gain more information from this goop than is obvious, you can roll and investigate, and then we'll see if you can then you can kind of like find some more concrete answers about what this is or what it might be.
Yeah, I
What
want
do you
to
think,
use I want to use my sort of power of premonition and that type of stuff, and just sort of extend my sort of consciousness out to see if there's any like latent like memories of people that have interacted with this that are like residual and like have been left behind.
Okay.
And see if I can pick up on anything.
All right, go ahead and roll investigate.
And I am not very sharp. Wait, is that it's sharp?
Mm-hmm.
That's not very good for me.
All right. So Ryan, from the investigate questions, I don't know if there's a good list that you guys can see, but it's I'll paste it into the chat of what you can because you get one question for that. There we go. So for a 9, you can get the answer to one of these questions.
I want to know what happened here.
So it looked like you sense, you reach out with your mind and you try to tap into the energies of what remains here, and you get this image of a creature like emitting a spray, and this spray splattering onto this tree, and then hardening. So you think that whatever it is that you're hunting might have the ability to capture its prey in this way.
Okay.
All right. Sam or Bryant, either one of you want to take a crack at that or take another angle?
Sure.
I'll go
You want to
for
go
it.
first? Okay.
I'll go ahead and you go ahead and go, Sam.
Okay. So, Jason's gonna get down and he's gonna like look at the substance, and he's got in his van he's got rubber gloves and all kinds of cleaning things,
Mm-hmm.
and he's gonna think back to the summer fling dance of about 3 or 4 years ago when there was this really gross mess, which turned out to be a mixture of the Britney Spears perfume Fantasy and Rufinol and Hawaiian Punch had gotten everywhere, and it had eaten through some of the card tables that they had set up to dance on, and so he wants to see if this substance is toxic in the same capacity. So he's gonna like tap off a little bit and then put it in basically like a pool testing kit to see if it's poisonous.
So you can you start running some tests and mixing things together. Go ahead and roll investigate, and you roll your sharp, and see if your tests give you anything conclusive. All right.
No. Thanks. Have more experience for
Yeah, yeah, more experience for you. You stir and stir, and it kind of fizzes up and bubbles over, and you're not totally sure what that means. You think you kind of mix some chemicals together that might have fizzed up like that either way, but you could tell this is trouble. This stuff's trouble. And we'll leave it at that. Tim kind of looks at you guys, like looks around the forest, and he's like, I don't like it out here. Are we done? Brian?
I'm gonna use the one hold that I have from the connected dots, and reveal when and where the next critical event will occur.
Okay.
I don't know how Jake would infer that situation. But
Wait, well, if Bryant or if Pep told us that it was a spray, you would understand that it's like a creature that sprayed it.
yeah.
Yeah, I would think that was shared information, right? Right, Ryan?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Give us a pitch, Bryant, on what Jake's process is. I mean, he's a conspiracy nut, but he's occasionally right. So how does he glean information?
Well, this would, definitely go back to the kind of seem similar to the giant spraying scorpion mice men from podcast 405.
I don't know how he keeps all these episodes in his head like that. That's amazing if he can do that.
His Wikipedia page is extensive.
Who moderates that?
That'd be me.
All right.
All right. So when and where the next event will occur?
Jason's my keeper of records.
Okay.
He's a good one.
So one of the houses that you drove by, you're sort of scanning through everything that you've seen recently and thinking back to all the different podcasts and things that you've heard, and you're like, spraying poison spray, sticky situation. And you sort of go off on a free association theater ramble for a little while.
45 minutes.
Talking to myself for like 5 minutes.
It's sticky. It's a sticky, tricky situation that you want freedom like an eagle that flies on a dead bodies on the ground covered in leaves. And he just goes on for a while. And eventually you arrive at one of the houses that you passed by on the way into the forest. This row house, not a row house, but a row. The house of Row, the house of the Rose. Oh man, I've really dug myself a hole here. Free association theater. It's ruined me. It's ruined me forever. You think that tonight in that house, the next critical event will occur?
Dang. It's all connected, man.
All right. Well, it sounds like we got we need to go do a stakeout or something, right? That's what we do. Set some like e-meters up and
got stock up on some coffee cake.
Tim asks, what do you guys think it is? What is this something you've seen before?
It doesn't smell like the giant spraying scorpion mice men.
Is that good?
Very bad.
Well, it's very good if it's not them, but could it be worse?
Probably equally bad that it's
probably
even worse.
So you guys pack up your stuff. Tim's like, yeah, we got to get out of this woods. It's dangerous out here. You know, don't know. Yeah,
I gotta take a 15-minute break. I gotta go to my parents' house. I will be back on.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna drive over there and take care of my dog, I guess. So I'll be back on in like 15 minutes.
Okay.
We'll just say Jason's mom called him and he's
he's on the phone. It's a long conversation.
Do we just want to come back in like 15?
Well, let's make a little bit of progress and then we'll take a break for 5 minutes or something.
Okay.
So Jake Bryant, why don't you lead the way here on how you think you want to approach this? So this Tim points out to you guys this house, the Sampson house. That's where the girl who went missing lives, and down the road is this row house, the one that you think tonight there's going to be something funny going on. And also tonight at the high school, there's like a candlelight vigil for the missing girl.
Can I do something kind of shady?
Yeah, of course.
Can I check the mailbox and see if I can get like a name of who lives at this house? Maybe it's Vinny, the boyfriend. I don't know.
You could also ask Tim. Unless you just want to do something shady. I'll try and I know Jake when he gets that look in his eye where he wants to go.
He just wants to do something.
He just wants to do something that he shouldn't do. And I'll try and distract Tim once we get to the we gotta drive there, right?
Yeah. I mean, I got my GoPro. I'm like recording it, so it's all for the YouTube channel, you know.
Yeah, he's gonna go. He's gonna go get some B-roll right now. So why don't you and I? We'll. Is the Sampson house and this house, are they kind of close by each other?
Yeah, they're like down the road from each other.
Okay, yeah, I'll walk with. We'll leave Jake. He'll get some footage. Why don't you and I walk down towards the Samson house, and you can tell me a little bit more about this family if you know anything.
Okay.
Oh,
So
so is Tim still with us?
no, Tim's going with Principal Dan.
Okay.
At some point, today, if you guys wanted, you could go into town and drop off Tim and go off on your own. Is the other option too? The houses that are in the trees that are near the forest. They're like 5-10 minutes out of town. So it's not a huge distance or anything like that. But I like where this is going. So why don't you have Jake roll cool to act under pressure, and sneak around this house and see what's happening.
This probably isn't gonna go good.
Hey, that's not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Considering he's -1,
Nice.
Um, all right. So you go and you poke around, and you're getting some good footage, and you poke in the mailbox, and you see that the family's last name is Rowe. You see some mail for Henry and Cora, they seem, like the business mail is sort of addressed to them. But you don't see any boyfriend. The odd thing that you notice, though, is that the mail kind of seems stacked up in here. Like, it seems like maybe they haven't really looked.
Checked in days.
Yeah, haven't been checked in a while. And you kind of are pondering that when you hear some motion inside the house, and you're quick enough to kind of like not look too suspicious, like not get caught looking in the mailbox. But you do see someone like look out the kitchen window, like at you from inside, and kind of just sort of be peering out the window towards you. What do you want to do?
And no one's with me. Like
Yep.
Dan's off of Tim.
Yep.
Yeah, they're down the street, so they're a short jog away.
And of course, Jason's talking to his mom.
Yeah, he's in the car. It's really involved.
Needed. Get him to stop texting me. I'm gonna go and just try to play it off and ring the doorbell.
Okay, you ring the doorbell.
I'm not a suspicious man. I'm just,
I mean,
Just
you
ring
see
the
what
doorbell.
you see what you look like, right? All right. So you ring the doorbell, and a really kind of happy, smiling woman answers the door, and she's a middle-aged woman, and she looks at you and she says, hello, good afternoon, good morning, sir. I saw you out on the drive there, and I just thought it was kind of. I was just curious what's going on.
Oh, I was looking for my friend's house, Tim, the forestry man, but apparently, sorry, I guess I had the wrong house.
None of us know what his actual title is. We just relate him back
Tim
to
the
the
forest
forest
man.
every time.
That
Forest
guy,
man, the forest
sorry to
boy.
sorry to disturb you. This is a really lovely town. How long have you lived here?
Oh, we lived here most of our lives. This is truly a beautiful town, and everyone here is just so nice. And she has a kind of like funny look about her, like the way that she talks and moves. There's something a little bit kind of, I don't know, too nice.
She's like the Men in Black.
Mormon.
Why don't you roll read a bad situation sharp?
She's Mormon.
It's even worse than Men in Black. 8.
All right. You you get the sense from her that she's there's definitely something not right, and but it doesn't have to do with let's see how do I put this. It seems like she's being extra nice to you for no reason, and it's not like she's scared or you know, that might be what it is. It's, you know, most people when they see you, they give you this look like you're a pedophile, and she's being kind of too nice, as if she's like not really noticing that about you. And she says, "I see you got a camera there, my friend. What are you filming? Are you a filmmaker?"
Yeah. Got my own YouTube channel. If you're interested in checking out the Knights of Paranormal Activism and other higher mysteries.
Oh, I will. I will check that out. Thank you. Thank you for that. I really appreciate being, having my eyes opened up to new experiences.
So how about this own little mystery you have going in your own little town here? What do you think about that?
Oh, well, I'm not so sure that it's all it's cracked up to be. There's, a lot of people getting worked up over not much.
And I assume that I know that she's lying because of my ability.
Yeah, but she's not lying like the way that you kind of expect people to lie.
Not like a manipulative lie.
Or she doesn't seem like like most people kind of have a little bit of shame or a little bit of awkwardness about their lying. She seems kind of like deadpan about her lying, like it's like no big deal.
No, like pupils dilating, anything like that.
Yeah.
Does she seem to be like non-human, like she's trying to act human?
You can roll investigation if you like. Roll a sharp roll. All right. So you can pick one of the questions from the investigation list that I put in the chat there.
Do the what is being concealed here?
So you you get the sense that she is sort of like putting on a persona that's not natural to her.
Right.
And you hear a voice from inside a woman or a young teenager. Mom, who's that? What's going on? And you see her kind of like, she sort of like closes the door a little bit so that you don't see into the house. And she says, well, sir, if you don't mind, I hope you have a really lovely day.
I was like, all right, yeah, I will leave you alone.
Great.
And then Jake's going to.
Yeah, I guess I'll fuck off then.
He's gonna go like a little bit crazy, and then he's just gonna run out in the yard and like pick up a rock and just throw it at one of the windows in the top story and just try to break the window.
Okay. All right. Ryan.
Just to see, he's gonna try to get a reaction out of this thing.
So Ryan, you're you kind of distract Tim with something, and you're a little bit worried about what Jake is up to. So you set Tim to go look at something while you kind of backtrack a little bit. And when you're about 100 feet down the road, you see him run out into the yard and throw a rock at the window, and you hear like.
Oh God, not again. Fuck.
Jake's the wild card, man. He's wild card.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Am I able? I want to use. Shit.
I mean, you could just run away.
Yeah, I guess Jason is more.
Jason's in the
attached
car.
to Jake. Jason's more attached than I am to Jake, so maybe we'll just leave him here.
Well, Jason's in the car on the phone still with his mom. But you think that if you were to just sort of like, holler at him, you guys could all pile in the car and drive away real suspiciously.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm going to send Jake a message via telepathy and tell him to run away from the van, back from like the direction that we came, and just to keep running, and we'll come pick you up in the van.
All right.
A little bit down the road.
Jake just like runs down the street, like with his hands like this, just trying to, make sure he has the full attention of the non-human in the house.
Yeah, so I'll get in the van. Me and I guess I'll get in the van with Jason, and then I'll drive down the road, pick up Tim, and then maybe drive a little bit longer, and then pull a U-turn, and then drive back down the road to go pick up Jake.
You start to give some instructions to Jason, and he's like, "I'm on the phone." But
Did she ask about me?
I'm on the phone. Shut up!
I know who you're talking to. Just tell me if she asked about me.
Shut up!
Did you tell her I have a new job?
And you manage to direct him via hand gestures to Jake.
I want to ask Jake, why do you always do that? Why is that like your one move? You have like one move and just throw a rock through a window.
It goes back to my high school days. I think let's maybe go back to the hotel, and I can check up on my contacts on the net, see if we got any hot scoops, and then we'll.
Okay, but I'm gonna need to put you in timeout for a little bit.
Hey, if we need to sneak into the house,
I'm gonna use magic to put him asleep.
We have a broken window to get in.
I use magic to put him asleep until we get back to the hotel.
All right, you guys go back to the hotel, and Jake checks in on his hookup, and what you get back is, so you get a lot of conspiracy theories about cases like this, where like people going missing into the woods, and there's like similarities between this and like alien abductions and natural kind of fungus creatures and plant creatures that are like carnivorous plants, and you kind of like get that sense, and that typically in situations like this, when you have a missing person and there's potential for kind of other shenanigans going on, that when these are kind of become bigger situations, that both like more and more people tend to start going missing, is one kind of mark of it. and like the people closest to the victim, tend to like know things or be in on it, or have connections to what's really going on, but they don't, and they're not always going to share that sort of information. But as far as like the SAP question, there hasn't been any recent reported cases like this. The only things that kind of come up on the radar recently, in this area, is like there was like a meteor shower that happened a few weeks ago. There's this girl who went missing. And then other than that, not a whole lot of news comes out of this town.
So I guess we dropped him off back.
Yeah, you dropped him off.
Spring Station. Okay.
So it could be a case of purple alien plant people.
We don't want to get in too much trouble. I don't want to put my pension on the line here.
It's always you and your pension.
All I got.
Public employee as well.
Well, I don't think the sheriff's going to be much help. I don't think she takes too kindly to us poking around. I'm hesitant to talk to the family of the girl because we're not technically like detectives.
Maybe just like
Quote,
make an appearance
unquote.
at that candlelight vigil.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And how these things go in like Supernatural and whatnot. They're always pretending to be agents of some or other organization or thing like that. You guys kind of like have already, a lot of people already know who you actually are, but you've only met a few people in town so far, so you could probably pull off some shenanigans to that effect. But the candlelight vigil would be a decent opportunity where it wouldn't be too weird for you to show up.
Yep. And the thing that's supposed to happen at the house, that's happening tonight.
Correct.
Do we know? Okay.
So yeah, we should always go do that after the vigil.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think one of us should probably go at least kind of stake out the house.
Probably not me.
Maybe the other two. Yeah, probably not you. I could go kind of do some stakeout work, drop you guys off at the vigil, go do some, or you guys could drop me off, and I'll. Is there anything? I guess there's not really probably anywhere to hide around this house instead of just like this 70-year-old man just standing outside of a house.
I know Jason really loves his van, so he might not mind just sitting in his van outside the house.
That's true.
Yeah, you could sit in the van, or you can, creep out into the trees behind the house. Like all these houses outside of town, they're sort of surrounded by wilderness, so there's a lot of trees to hide in.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. You guys can go to the candlelight vigil.
Yeah.
You guys can go to the candlelight vigil, and I'll do some. I'll do some late night hunting in the woods.
Deal. All right. Well, I was just about to say we should take a quick break. Sam's back. If somebody wants to catch him up, I'll be right back.
So the plan right now for the evening is that you two are going to go to the candlelight vigil.
Sold. For what?
To ask around.
The missing girl.
Yeah, it's the candlelight vigil for the missing girl, and then you're going to go talk to some people, see if you can get any more information. And then I'm going to go and do some stakeout. Do a stakeout out in the woods, and because something. Oh, we also know. Did you know that there's something that's supposed to happen in this house tonight?
Okay.
In that house that we took the rock through.
house. So after the vigil, I say we go back to the house, and
Yep.
we have a broken window to sneak in now.
Deal.
You have an upper story broken window.
Right.
That's true.
So now we just need to get like an extra large trench coat and then get up on each other's shoulders.
Indeed. All right. So cut to the evening. So two of you are going to the vigil, and Ryan's going to the house. Is that right?
Yep, I'm creeping out in the woods.
Like the woods where the black goo is, or
No, just
No.
behind the houses and stuff.
behind their house. Okay.
I'm gonna take off my business blazer and put on my hunting blazer.
Oh, you got to have hunting blazer.
Serious.
And then I'm gonna have my hunting rifle and my shotgun over my shoulder. So I've got both two guns. I'm walking through the woods looking like I'm hunting, but while keeping an eye on the house for any mysterious goings on.
All right. So it's easy enough to stalk through the woods, even if you are an awkward principal. So why don't you roll sharp to read a bad situation while you're out there, Ryan? Once night falls and there's crickets and creaking and cracking woods all around you, and you don't know what's going on. You stake out the row house, and you see lights start to turn off, one by one in the house. And you see like them. There's people kind of gathering out near the back door of the house. It's kind of dark, so you're not exactly sure what's happening there. But you see them kind of looking over in a direction that's not too far away from you. And when you kind of follow their gaze, you see a man in a like leather jacket, and kind of silhouetted in amongst the trees, kind of like stalking through the trees in your direction, and you think that he's probably going to come upon you and see you if he hasn't seen you already. And you look back to the house, and it seems like they're hauling something kind of big out the back door. What do you want to do?
I want to. Can I use telepathy from this range to try and read the person that's walking towards me, to try and read their thoughts?
Yeah. Are you? Do you want to investigate to find out stuff, or do you want to like manipulate him, or do you want to? How are you approaching this?
I would like to
Read a bad situation.
Yeah, I want to read a bad situation to see if he is just coming in my direction, or if he is has spotted me and is like, and if I need to get rid of the light.
Well, like I said, with your read a bad situation roll that you just made, you get the sense that this guy is bad news, and if he were to see you, you think that like he's heading in your direction and he's going to see you if he hasn't seen you already, and you think that that's going to be bad news. So you can kind of choose whether you want to try and confront him, whether you want to try and trick him or run away, or find out something more, get closer to the house, But yeah, you feel pretty confident that he's bad news and he's imminent in your direction.
Okay. Yeah, I want to try and I don't know, kind of camouflage myself into the trees. Maybe use magic to sort of make myself less kind of pull a predator and
Mm-hmm.
just kind of blend in with everything, so this guy doesn't see me.
Always go.
Okay. All right. So you can go ahead and use magic. Roll weird. Nice. Okay. So you how does your magic manifest itself as it camouflages you?
I would say, since my magic is more like telepathy and telekinesis and those like sort of more psychic powers,
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's not so much that I disappear.
Mm-hmm.
It's that I use that sort of influence to
Mm-hmm.
where he basically doesn't see, like he just basically can't see me. Like
Okay.
he does, I don't register to him. I could be standing right in front of him, and I look like a tree, or I look like just the empty forest.
Okay. So he walks right by you. You see that he's he's a teenager. He's like, 16, 17-year-old kind of punk kid. He looks like he's got an attitude, and he's carrying a crowbar around, like looking real metal and hardcore.
I don't like it. I don't like these youths.
So, as he kind of patrols around, he doesn't see anything. Then, he kind of walks over to meet up with the group that left the house, and he kind of escorts them as they carry this large thing that you think is like body sized, but it's like wrapped up in a carpet.
Yeah, I think I want to follow them.
Okay. Cut to the gym. The high school is the Wildcats rule here, says the sign. There's tonight there's a vigil for the missing girl. Her name is Fanny. And the two of you walk in there like a couple of sexual predators and go into the gym that's like a little too well lit for a candlelight vigil. There's like punch and people consoling each other and a lot of teenage girls crying. So what do you guys want to do?
Jason is just going to break down crying. He is pretty bummed about Fanny missing.
Mm-hmm.
He just pouring his little heart out. What the loss. I think. Oh man, I can't imagine what she looks like, or if she's afraid, or not, or if she's dead or not. But
All right.
oh my
Quietly
goodness.
assumes his weeping, heavy weeping, probably has something to do with the conversation he had with his mom earlier as well.
All right. For whose benefit is this weeping, Sam?
It is for the benefit of the parents that are there, like the adults.
Uh-huh.
Because he thinks, like, if you show a little bit, well, he's genuinely crying about it, but it's also like he gets that if he cries in front of the adults, it's more of a community building, coming together kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he could also score some work cleaning up this this shindig.
I mean, just imagine this from like a TV show. So these two fucking weirdos show up that nobody knows to a vigil for a missing girl, and one of them just completely breaks down.
All right.
And then
Well, why don't you roll manipulation then, Sam?
I shall.
See if this show is going to go on Broadway or not.
Candle wax is so hard to get off of floors. Oh my goodness. Oh, boom!
Okay. All right. A man who looks like he's kind of in charge. He comes up to you and he says, excuse me, sir. I didn't recognize you, but there's a lot of grief. Did you know Fanny?
No, but I am just a member of this community, and when one of us hurts, the rest of us hurt, and I just feel this loss within me.
He says, I'm Principal Jenkins, and you let me know if there's something that you need, friend."
Well, we've been out in the woods recently.
And then,
and well, you're gonna have to trust me on this, and that's one of my powers. I believe there to be space aliens who are plant space aliens who are abducting our youths here in this beautiful town.
Trust me is to protect them from danger. He's not. They're not in immediate danger at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean he can
you might be in danger pretty quick.
Yeah, he kind of nods and doesn't immediately dismiss your crazy talk.
Okay.
He says, "Is there something? Well, I hope that's not the case. Is there something you needed, friend?"
Well, I'm sorry. I'm so kerfuffled by this whole situation. Do you know? And then I gotta lean toward Jake. Jake, you gotta help me out here.
All right, Jake. What are you? What have you been doing? Well, so Jason, he's crying. He starts talking with the principal, and you hear him start talking about aliens and dangerous foes and things. And so you can jump in here anytime.
I come and rest my hand on Jason's shoulder and just look this principal square in the eye and say, "Look, man, we have intuition that this town is under attack from purple alien planet people. Have you seen anything kind of strange going about lately? Any kind of unusual characters? Any kind of unusual happenings? Anything that can help us
other than
get
the
this poor girl back?" Because
you guys both get a mental message from Dan that's like, "How's it going?"
Real good.
really well. It's going really, really well.
This is folded out perfectly. Everyone thinks that we're sane, and there's no problems.
So I think Jake has the "see it all fits together" power, where you can manipulate someone with your intelligence. Is that right?
I didn't select that one. No.
I think we're.
So I'd have to roll charm, manipulation, or whatever. So what is my? Well, at least I have +1 on that.
Okay, you can roll your charm. Okay. The principal, he's kind of nodding. You don't think that he necessarily totally believes you, but he wants to help. What would you like to get from the principal? He's offering to help you, even though you're kind of weird people who are crazy.
Well, I'll just kind of underline, I get that we're probably weird showing up here, but has there been any other weirdness, previous to us?
so he says, well, I mean, this disappearance is about the weirdest thing that's happened around here in quite some time. Uh, you know, I I didn't want to bring this up with all the bad business that's going around, but Fanny's friend Angela, you know, she came.
Fanny, the name of the girl.
Fanny's the name of the girl that disappeared. Angela Rowe. She she came to me the other day, talking about some weird stuff in the woods, and she's been the one that's been the most convinced that that something really bad happened to Fanny, while a lot of folks seem to think that maybe she just run off, and how teenagers are sometimes. But Angela's been the one that's really led the charge, and I didn't really listen to her, but she seems to be, convinced that that there's just all kinds of weirdness going on, and I still think that the boyfriend Vinny, I still think that he's involved with all this, and yeah.
What's his last name?
Oh, Vinny Puller. He's Fanny's boyfriend, and he's kind of a punk. You know how kids are. They get all
Are any of them
angsty.
here at the vigil tonight, or are they?
I haven't seen them tonight. No, I don't see them. I thought that Angela and her parents would be here, but I don't know. Maybe they're just running late.
Everyone in this town sounds like Lila.
Yes.
Then I grab Jason by the shoulders, don't you see how it all fits together? The rose, Jason, the rose.
I was talking to my mom, but yeah, let's do it.
All right.
If the rake says it's true, then
Ryan.
we gotta.
Ryan, so you decide that you want to follow these folks. Just keep in mind that you're not exactly the coolest operator of all, and that if you were to be seen following these folks, you think that you'd be in some pretty serious danger. But if you're ready to proceed, I'd like you to roll act under pressure. Roll your cool.
Okay.
All right. So you follow them through the woods for a while, and they lead you to a kind of a gathering of trees and some rundown cars and old picnic tables and things like that you think is kind of looks like some teenagers hang out here. Mm-hmm. And the kid in the leather jacket, he kind of walks through like he owns the place. Are
there adults with him?
Yes. So the two parents of Angela Rowe are the ones carrying the load that you kind of assume is a body.
Okay.
And so they lead you into this situation. When you when they enter this area, you hear a snap of a twig underneath your foot, and you they all sort of turn, and you think that they've noticed that someone is near, but they haven't seen you yet.
Okay. Are they holding? Who are they? So how is the load being held? Is one of them holding it, or two of them carrying it?
The two parents are carrying it rolled up in a carpet.
Okay. So I have one of my moves. Is Hex. And one of the things it says the target when you cast a spell, blah blah blah. normal effects, but you may pick one of the following. The target breaks something precious or important. Um, am I able to create like a maybe like a something that looks like a small animal running in like some type of, I don't know, some type of illusion that looks like a small animal kind of running away from, I guess, where I am, sort of through the forest. But while at the same time as that happens, they drop what they're holding.
Yeah, I think that's they'll certainly drop what they're holding, and that would definitely distract them from you if you were trying to get out of dodge.
Yes, I think. Yeah, I think I want to do that.
All right, so go ahead and roll magic. Roll weird.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'm gonna figure, it's late. I'm gonna use a point of luck to make that a 12. So it goes off without a hitch.
Okay, it goes off without a hitch. So yeah, they drop the carpet, and you hear it land with a crunch, and you see a young girl kind of frozen up in a bunch of sticky sap, sort of tumble out of the carpet and like crunch open on a log nearby, and you see her kind of like her hand gets free and it's kind of wiggling. And they all sort of like look around and look in the other direction, so you have the opportunity to bail.
I don't know. I have poor impulse control.
Cut to Sam and Bryant are are at the gym, but you were thinking about hitting the road after getting a message from Principal Dan, or are you thinking about there are more people you want to investigate here?
I think that we have two pretty prime suspects here, Jake.
Yeah, Jake got I'd say we got like a pretty good confirmation of these row.
I say we head on over and try and pick up Pep.
Especially since we know they're obviously not here at the candlelight vigil.
But the girl's parents, Fanny's parents, are here. The Sampsons are at the vigil.
Oh. I think we should talk to them.
I think we should talk to them, but also I'm not too sure that we can talk to them successfully. That being too weird.
You're the face, man. You're the face.
I'm the face.
You're the face. You just lean into the weird. That's been the strategy so far.
Okay.
I take one of my packaged coffee cakes out of my pocket. It's like, hey, maybe like offer this as a token of.
Oh, there we go. That's our ticket in. So then he takes one of the coffee cakes, cuts it up into little like slices, and then gulping down a huge handful of testosterone, frog sperm, vitamins from Jake's own company. Jason Bourne moseys on up to the Sampsons.
All right, so the Sampsons are there, and a lot of people are coming up to them and comforting them, and you see them kind of nodding and consoling. It almost seems like they're consoling the people that are consoling them in a weird way. And so when you come up to them, the father, he looks to you and he says, "Well, hello there. Have you come to pay your respects to our Fanny?"
Yeah, I sure have. I'm so devastated by just what's happened in this community. Me and my compatriot have brought you this coffee cake that we purchased ourselves. And
oh, thank you very much. That's very kind of you to do that.
It's warm to me in my pocket.
we don't tell that part. But we're something of private investigators, and I know that there's probably been police and every which person coming and asking, and I'm just a professional custodian, but as my day job, but I just can't shake the feeling that something really weird has happened here. Uh, did your daughter mention anything really strange going on a couple days before her disappearance?
Oh, I wouldn't get too worked up about this. You know how teenagers get. They run off and they throw a big fit, and she'll be back. It's I wouldn't think twice about it. Though I appreciate your efforts and your cake.
Can can I roll to like see if I get kind of the same kind of vibe from him as I got from the row?
You do.
Was it?
You get the same kind of vibe you get from the row house. That like they seem a little too chill about this.
Yeah. Uh, Nah. Where y'all from?
Oh, we grew up right here in town. It's we're a close knit community here. It's that's why it's a little bit odd to see you gentlemen here. Not that we don't appreciate your cake, but it's a little strange to have out of towners at this vigil for a young girl who's gone missing, and sort of a time to comfort the community, that sort of thing.
We brought offerings of coffee cake.
We sure have. You know, when I was my name is Jason P. Bourne, and as you can imagine, when I was in my early-ish, latest 20s, those Jason Bourne movies were quite the rage, and I know I caused all kinds of to heck, and by heck I mean trouble for the girls in my social circle, the girls at church and
Yeah.
the gals who are just around town.
Oh, I know how teenagers get.
Right. And I just know that I had nothing but the purest of intentions at that time. But have you seen any boys who would? I know that Fanny had a boyfriend, but did he roll with a particularly rough crowd?
Oh, he was a tough one. So you can try and roll investigate or manipulate if you want to try to get something out of them.
Right.
But he kind of he just his first reaction is just like, oh, he was a troublemaker, but he's a nice kid.
Oof,
You get another experience.
I do.
And he says, no, I don't think that that had anything to do with it. I was just rolling around in my head. So you said that you were a custodial investigator?
That's a very apt way of describing me. Yes, sir.
It doesn't really it doesn't really kind of, is that really a thing? I never heard of that before.
Now I get that a lot. And the answer is no, it isn't a thing because I'm the only one of my kind that practitioners. I
He's a
don't.
pioneer.
I'm a pioneer in my field.
I see.
But mainly I do custodial work as my day job, and then private investigation as my night job. And whenever the two shall meet, I am there to make those connections.
I see. He sort
Got a
of
pocket knife.
he looks over his shoulder and he's like, "Oh, Sheriff Carver, come here for a minute." And you see the sheriff sort of turn around and see the two of you, and she's like, "Are these two causing you a problem?" And he's like, "Well, no, not per se, but he was some kind of an investigator, and I thought maybe he should talk to you. You gentlemen enjoy the vigil. Well, don't enjoy the vigil. That's not what you do in a vigil. But I appreciate you coming to the vigil. That's what I mean. Sheriff, you don't mind.
Sure will. You enjoy the rest of that coffee cake.
The sheriff crosses her arms at you guys. What's up, Brian?
I was going to say, can I send them another little
Yes.
mind text message?
Yes. As the sheriff goes,
I think I found her.
Fanny?
Yeah, you need to come here. You need to come to the row house right now.
Oh, okay.
We're on the way. I'll just create a distraction for Rock.
Jake just has a pocket full of rocks at all times.
all right, Jake, what's the distraction going to be?
Wait, really? Okay.
No.
It's his one move.
We could. No, the sheriff.
Do you have the power of acting crazy and having people let it roll? Often overlooked.
Is that a real power?
Yes.
Don't.
Well, if we pick up these characters again, you'll know which power you need.
Yeah.
All right. So you all right. So you guys just the sheriff kind of crosses her arms at you guys, and you're just like, oh, we're just leaving. Just heading out, and you guys kind of like run away.
Our way out, I imply very strongly to Jason that I'm pretty sure the what was their last name?
Row?
The Sampson family.
Samsons. They're purple alien plant people as well.
All right. You guys hit the road and are heading up, 10 minutes or so away. And about that time, we have Principal Dan causing them to drop the girl trapped in sap. And so you gonna run, or are you gonna fight, or what's your plan?
Well, Principal Dan will just says, "Well, I know what I want to do," and he cocks the shotgun.
All right. So Principal Dan is gonna kick some ass and lay it out. I mean, you had a perfectly good distraction. You could have run away. If you attack them now, they're gonna attack you back.
So we're reunited with Principal Dan now.
You guys are a few minutes away from Principal Dan.
Okay, so he's still by himself.
We're flooring it.
Principal Dan could lay low for a few minutes and wait for his compatriots.
I think I'll just lay low and maybe wait for them to show up, or at least hopefully show up quietly.
Okay. You witness them, gather their things together. They don't see you, and you see them kind of like there's a spot where the tree kind of the roots kind of make a little shelter. You see them kind of like packing the girl in there. When you get a chance to get a little bit of a closer look at the girl, you see that she's kind of like seems kind of suspended in this goo, and she had a little an arm free, and you see one of the parents open up their mouth and go blah, and spray goop all over her again, and seal her back up before they shove her underneath the tree. And they're kind of wrapping up their operation when Jason and Jake roll up in the truck. So, all right. So, Jason and Jake, you can get there faster by just, rambling your rental car into the forest. Or
Honking the
you
horn.
can get there a little less fast by parking responsibly and then running in. Which,
So how many people are there? Three?
Three.
Four? Three. Um,
It depends on who's driving.
up to you. Or it's a van, right? It's
feel-
the van, right?
So if we're in the van, then Jason's definitely going to park very responsibly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
We got some serious like dad action on this one.
All right. So Ryan, you get a sense, a little premonition message of that they're close by, that they parked very responsibly, and that they're running through the woods right now. You see that the two the parents and the younger kid, they have a little brief conversation, and then the parents start to make their way back towards the house.
okay. I want to try and shit. I want to like manipulate one of them into sort of insert thoughts into their mind.
Mm-hmm.
That what I mean, these people are fucking weird. So what would they respond to? I don't know, that maybe like if maybe I'll put the thought in the mom's head that the dad like shit, I can't even know what these things would. They're like.
Well, the other thing you can do is you can investigate remotely, so you can read their surface thoughts and learn things about them, if you wish to do that instead.
Yeah, let me do that to the mom. I want to kind of read her surface thoughts.
Okay.
Sharp.
Yeah, sure. All right. So you can ask. You got 2 questions from the investigation list that you can ask.
I want to know what sort of creature it is.
Okay. So you read her surface thoughts, and you sense that she is connected telepathically to something kind of a ways away,
Okay.
and that it is some sort of alien plant creature. So its thoughts are kind of seem really garbled and weird to you as you intercept them. But you get the sense that it is directing their actions.
Okay. I want to know what can hurt it, like directly, like related to. Is there a way to? I don't know if I can get this detailed, but is there a way to sever that connection?
So what you learn is the thing that they are concentrated on. This putting this girl in this under this tree. They're focused on strengthening the creature by doing this. So you think that undoing their actions would hurt the creature.
Okay. Great.
So the two of them, walk off into the woods and kind of disappear as you sense Jason and Jake with their 40-year-old out of shape panting as they run through the woods in your direction.
Really a lot of coffee cake.
Just hide, or maybe not run so loudly into the forest. Be quiet.
Okay. So Jake and Jason get a message as you get closer from Principal Dan saying, you're close. Be quiet. So you guys can both roll cool and try and
Oh no!
try and
You got
play
those luck.
play it cool.
You got luck. You have luck.
How much luck do we have?
3.
3 of them.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Should
All
I
right.
spend the luck?
It's up to you.
I'll spend a luck.
Okay. So they, with help from your psychic directions, Principal Dan, they take up strategic positions nearby quietly, and you all observe this kind of punk-looking teenage kid in a leather jacket with a crowbar. He seems to be standing guard over this this spot. And so you can, the 3 of you can confer about what your plan is.
Well, I think I could just shoot him.
You could just shoot him.
I mean, that's always an option.
Pip, I'd love to help you shoot this man.
this teenage boy.
Teenage boy.
I think I might be able to get him to leave or at least subdue him somehow. Do either of you have something?
I can go up and strangle
You're gonna garrote him?
Yeah.
I can smack him with my mop.
You guys should just bum rush him.
It seems like we're not exactly the overpowering type, but we're also not exactly the tactical espionage action type. So,
What were the parents doing again? With the,
They left.
They left, yeah.
They're just gone. Okay.
So I think the 3 of us can handle this punk kid.
I'll
All right.
throw a rock to distract him.
let's bum rush him.
All right, bum rush. Who's leading
We're
the
doing
charge?
Well, I'm gonna throw a rock like behind him first, so he at least looks in the other way, and then we'll jump.
And then I'm gonna run up behind him and I'm gonna smack him in the back of the head with my hunting rifle.
All right.
Shotgun.
All right, so Bryant, why don't you roll help to help out Bryant, help out Ryan with his attack. So
What will be help? Was that?
so
that,
help out is a
charm?
cool roll. All right, Jake is running up, throws a rock at the kid, and right as Ryan, right as Principal Dan gets up behind him to whack him with the rifle, he turns and looks right at him. So go ahead and roll tough -1, Ryan.
Oh god. Oh god.
All right.
It's all down to Jason's charm now.
All right. So you swing and but you just kind of clip him with the butt of your rifle because he's looking right at you. He kind of moves a little bit out of the way, and he clangs you with the crowbar for two harm.
Oh.
Don't we only have 3? Yeah, we do only have 3 harm.
No, you have 7. You have 3 luck. But anything more than 4, you need like hospital attention. So Principal Dan gets laid out by this crowbar, whang, and he just goes boom, boom on his back. All right, Jason P. Bourne is up to you.
He's supposed to fight this kid, right?
Yes, he's in it now.
All right. with a shrill, like an almost feminine shriek, Jason yells, "Pep, pep!" and then he smacks the kid with his with his broom, or no, his mop that he has,
Okay.
which,
Roll.
which is the two harm hand innocuous messy, and this is tough, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
Come on, we gotta hit this guy.
All
Is
right.
that a hit?
Yeah, that's it.
It's a mixed result.
So, you raise up your mop and you're slapping him down, and he brings up his crowbar at the same time and goes whang, and he wangs you in the head. So you both go boom off of each other. So he tumbles over, and he takes 2 harm, and you take 2 harm, and you're both like, "Oh God, why did we do this? This is a bad idea." But you see that the kid is less phased than you. He's knocked out on the ground, but he doesn't say anything. He just kind of grunts, and he's like shaking it off. All right. All right. So as Principal Dan is getting up, Jake, you stole the thunder last time. So what's it going to be this time? You're at like short distance from him, and he's looking at you like the man's,
I've got a 9mm.
God.
And I'm just gonna I'm not gonna shoot it. I'm just gonna hold it up at him and just kind of threaten him like, "Freeze, man! Just chill out."
All right, you can roll manipulation. Though I didn't think you were all that charming, are you?
I have +1 charm.
Oh, nice. Okay. He looks at you, and he doesn't lunge forward. But he kind of is like getting his bearings. So as Principal Dan and as Jason kind of get their shit together, he sits up, and he's looking at you, and he stands up, and he's looking at you, but he's not approaching.
I just kind of I make sure the safety's turned off, because Jake's made that mistake before. And then he just kind of shakes the gun, just like, "Don't move, man."
All right. Principal Dan, Jake has turned this into a standoff.
Okay.
Your head is spinning.
I want to use some type of magic here because that's what I'm good at.
So you can inflict harm directly. You can enchant something. You can do one thing that's beyond human limitations. You can like hold a person, like trap a person. You can summon a creature into the world.
What?
You could heal one of your friends or yourself.
Dude, you could.
What I want to do is I want to sort of influence him psychically, and I want to tell him to. I want him to like do that puke stuff on himself, so he like sort of he like restrains himself.
Okay.
I want him to like, I'll tell him to like sit down and to like restrain himself by putting like, sit on the ground, put like his wrists together like between his legs, and then I want to have him throw up on himself and restrain himself.
Okay. Go ahead and roll magic.
Nice.
There we go.
All right. So yeah,
a little bit extra so his mouth is also sealed.
Well, let's not get greedy. So yeah, he kind of like shudders and shakes as he sort of fights with himself, and he kind of crouches down and goes all over himself, and the sap is this like sticky mess that's all over him. It doesn't harden immediately, but he's like stuck in the molasses of it, and he's like struggling with himself.
Okay.
We lost Sam for a minute there, so
No, I'm still on mic. I have to find my charger, and I just don't want to like have subject you guys to me wandering around through all kinds of different light.
All right, Sam. What do you, now that he is goopified? What do you want to do?
Jason goes, "Well, shit, he's the monster. We could have. How many are there?
There's 3 of them at least.
Can we ask him? Do you think he speaks English?"
I mean, we could, or we could just get this girl and get out of here.
All right, let's go find
Bo
Fanny.
was able to speak, but I don't know how much information they're going to give us. They seem to be under.
Yeah,
Seem to be pretty like resilient to any kind of.
So I think we should go search the house for Fanny.
Fanny's out here. She's right. Like,
well,
I'll like kind of go over to the spot that I saw them put her.
Okay.
under that tree.
So Principal Dan kind of has a sense now of these creatures, and you think that they're not going to be all that susceptible to like manipulation or like talking to, just because they're kind of under a mental effect already. So you don't think that they're going to be too much. They're not going to share too much with you.
Right.
So Principal Dan points you guys over to under this tree, where there's a girl, teenage girl who's been trapped in sap, and she's all sticky and goopy, and you see that little like tendrils of kind of light colored sap have sort of started to grow into the tree and into the dirt around her. But you think that you can, if you kind of work together, you think you can pull her out of there.
Yeah, get that mop in there.
Yeah.
Start mopping that off her.
Jason runs up to Fanny, and he's pretty worked up about, like, he's pretty relieved that they found her, and just all the emotions from the candlelight vigil earlier, like, flooding back,
creeping back up.
So, like, he's trying to pry her loose, but there's tears in his eye. Like, he's really holding it in.
I guess we wouldn't be able to tell like which girl it is, whether it's Angela or Fanny.
Well, once you pull her out from underneath
girl.
the tree, and Jason clears his eyes from all the sobbing, you saw a picture of Fanny at the vigil, and this is not Fanny.
No.
And she's still stuck in sap, like she's still like frozen. But you get her out from underneath the tree.
Is she paralyzed? Is she not moving?
Yeah, she's not moving. She's frozen inside the sap. But she does seem to be alive.
Is the sap hardened, or is it like a big jelly mold around her?
So it's most of it's hardened, but she recently got coated with a second coat that's real sticky and goopy. So she's like a hard middle and a molasses exterior that you guys are getting all stuck in.
Okay. Could I use magic to basically like sort of telekinetically like get it off of her, like to like remove it from her body, like extricate her from it without us having to like get touching it and getting it all over us?
You think that it might be a little bit more involved, just because you're not sure how to do it without hurting her.
Right.
That you think that like if you brute force it, you might do some harm. But that carpet is still nearby, and you guys could roll her up in it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the plan.
And the sap does burn when you get it on your hands and things like that.
Corrosive.
Yeah, it's corrosive. It's mildly corrosive, so it sticks to you, and it's like really goopy, and then it starts to kind of burn, and you guys are able to kind of rub it off before it does any serious damage. But you think that if you were coated with it, it would kind of hurt.
This is just like that Britney Spears fantasy perfume Rufinol fruit punch cocktail that I cleaned up once.
Just like that.
The government makes it available to people, man.
That's right. That's right.
When will Britney Spears be held responsible?
As the three men load up this teenage girl in a carpet and carry her to my van.
You're just glad that no one's around in the forest.
You know, I like this place. It's really secluded. It really does us a world of good. This fresh air and lack of eyes.
I've never really thought about all the things I could do in a secluded place with a van. It really opens up my eyes to the possibilities.
Only had some Britney Spears albums to put on.
Well, of course we got some Britney, but so I think that Jason is gonna start moving toward making the concoction removal stuff that he, like the weird chlorine test that he did earlier, to like test it out on where he's assuming it's Angelina's or whatever her name is.
Yeah, Angela.
Angela's stuff. So he's like trying like toward her feet to drip it on there.
So when you guys get back to the van and kind of investigate, and nothing like kind of immediately cures it all. So you think that you could kind of go a few different directions. One would be to conduct like some kind of ritual. Where Principal Dan might lead you guys in a very not at all creepy ritual to free the girl. You could try to consult like an expert and try to like figure out how to solvent this this goop.
We gotta contact Britney Spears.
Or yeah, you could try some experiments with like chemicals and things like that to kind of try and make it hard, make it loosen up for you guys.
Yeah, I think the ritual might be the way to go here to do something to get this off this poor young girl.
I concur. I concur with the ritual.
I'll light some candles.
We're obviously not going with the ask an expert, because that's just what they want you to think, man.
I'll get my best crystals out.
Principal Dan's pretty sure that he could work in some chemical solvents into his magic ritual.
Mm-hmm. And some Britney Spears lyrics.
That's some Britney Spears lyrics, yes.
Toxicity or
toxic.
Yeah.
So I just want to check in with you guys. It's 10 o'clock. We could potentially finish this next time or another time, or we can carry on. I know some of you it's later. It's actually 11 for some of you, right?
11 for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think this is a two-banger.
We can two-bang it.
Yeah. Are we going to have Matt and Carlos back next week, though?
Maybe.